So is Makoto Shinkai's latest movie Suzume worth the wait? Well, of course it is. Let's talk about it now. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watcher Pass. Today I'm here to talk to you about Suzume, which is coming to theaters on April 14th, 2023. It is the latest movie by Makoto Shinkai. If you are into anime at all, you know who he is. He's the writer-director of Your Name and of Weathering with You and several other movies before that. And now his latest film, Suzume, is coming to American theaters. Is it worth it? Is it worth the wait? Well, it's Makoto Shinkai, so of course it is. Like, I love Makoto Shinkai. I love his work. Weathering with You is my favorite anime of all time. I've seen it like probably 10 times. And this latest movie follows in a similar vein. My hot take is, look, I think you should watch it. I didn't love it as much as Weathering with You or Your Name, but those are phenomenal films. This is still a very, very good film. It is another beautiful journey by Makoto Shinkai with amazing animation, an epic story, beautiful music, and just a journey that spans across Japan. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I didn't enjoy it as much as Your Name or Weathering with You, but those are phenomenal movies. This is still a very, very good movie. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the film. A few things I like, a few things I didn't like. Go into the story just a little bit because it is a little confusing. I'm not gonna reveal like the true ending, but I'll have some hints along the way. So if you don't want to know what happens in this film, I would turn it off when I get to the story discussion. I will let you know when that happens. I will let you know when there will be spoilers. Before that, I'll keep it vague so you can watch without worry. So Suzume follows the main character, the title character, Suzume, who is a 17-year-old who is in kind of a rut. She's in high school. She doesn't really know what she wants to do. She meets this strange young man who asks her about doors in her area. And that chance encounter opens a doorway to a whole other world, to Suzume's past, to her present, to her future, and to an epic adventure that is bigger than Suzume or this young boy can possibly imagine. So, things I liked about this film. The first, look, animation. It's a Makoto Shinkai film. I'm going to talk about the animation. It is beautiful. It is gorgeous. It is the same kind of style as Your Name and Weathering with You. It's kind of a hand-drawn-ish look, but very, very clean with bright colors, with beautiful scenery, and just a focus on nature. I love the animation. I'm always in awe whenever I see a Makoto Shinkai film, and this is no exception. The second thing I loved is the music. Again, another thing I love about Makoto Shinkai's work. The music is fantastic. Weathering with You had a soundtrack by Radwimps, which I absolutely love. I listen to it all the time. This film also has music by Radwimps. It's not as catchy as Weathering with You, but it still is perfect for the setting. It has some nice kind of bright jazz during some of the whimsical and sillier parts. And it also has some epic songs that play during some of the bigger scenes, during some of the big encounters that kind of make this film what it is. The third thing I loved are the characters. This film has a host of characters that you meet along the way. This is definitely a journey film. It is a film where Suzume has to go on a journey to various places throughout Japan to kind of accomplish these tasks. And in each place, she meets new characters on the way. And she also has some characters that kind of follow her or that she pursues throughout this. Some of them are human, some of them are not. And all of them are very unique and very interesting. And the last thing I loved is the epic feel. Like, this film has some very, very big moments. And when those happen, you get kind of an amalgamation of all the things I like. You get some crazy animation, you get some really wonderful music, you get this feeling that there is something large happening and that Suzume is the one that has to kind of stop this. It happens multiple times in this movie and it is just beautiful to see. So all that being said, anything I didn't like? Well, not really didn't like, but it is just a confusing story. You get pieces throughout, you kind of build throughout, you get little hints here and there, which I normally love, but it made it kind of tough to follow at the start. Now, don't worry, by the end, you have a more full picture, and as soon as the movie ended, I wanted to just go back and rewatch it so I could pick up the things that I had learned. So it is definitely something that you will probably want to rewatch. It is something that won't be really become clear until the end of the movie, but stick with it because the journey is worth it. It just is confusing at the start. There's things that are introduced, there's concepts that are introduced that don't really get explained until later on in the film. So that is Suzume. It's coming to American theaters on April 14th, 2023. Like I said, I think you should watch it. If you like anime, if you like Makoto Shinkai, you're going to love this film. I'm going to go into a little bit more about the story just to kind of explain some of the things that are happening. If you don't want to know what happens in this film at all, if you don't want any spoilers, I would turn it off now because there will be spoilers. So, like I said, in Suzume, you have Suzume, the main character, who's in the quiet town of Kyushu, where she meets this young man who asks her the strange question. This man is named Sota, and he asks her, do you know where any doors are? I was looking for a door. And she's like, I mean, there's some ruins over there. That's kind of their chance encounter. Suzumi thinks this is weird. I think she wants to see what's going on. She wants to meet this young man. So she then turns around and goes to this ruin. Now, when she gets there, there is a door. It's this like white door that is in the middle of this kind of pool. It looks really interesting. It looks kind of strange, but also beautiful. When she opens that door, she sees another world. It's like kind of like her current world, but more like a shadow world, I guess. It's beautiful, but it is like dark. There's stars in the sky. It is just kind of an alternate version of what this world is. But when she tries to step through the door, she can't go through. She like walks through the door. She doesn't transport herself into this world. She just kind of like walks through the door and ends up on the other side of the door in the same world. So she can't get through. But what this encounter does is it kind of opens her eyes to things that are existing in this other world. So after this happens, she can see this like red tendril of like energy and smoke that occasionally happens, and she's the only one that can see it. Her friends can't see it. And what we find out is that what happens with these doors is they are kind of gateways into it's called the ever after. It's like a spirit realm. It's like an other realm. It's the upside down if you're in Stranger Things. It is an area that most people can't see, but a select few can. Suzume can, and this new person she met, Sota, can. And unfortunately, when you can see these, you also get to see the things that are coming through. And the main thing is this like red tendril thing that they call the worm. And it is constantly trying to escape. It exists in the ever after, and it's trying to escape, trying to kind of like free itself, form in the real world. And when that happens, it will cause natural disaster that will kill many people, destroy large parts of Japan. It is something that you don't want to have happen. And so to prevent this, you have these things called keystones. There are two keystones. There's one in the east and one in the west. They are these like statues that stop this worm from escaping. They kind of hold it in place, hold these doors in place. But unfortunately, it seems like these keystones are not working as well, and this worm is starting to manifest. And so when that also happens, you have Sota, who is a closer. His family has been closers for years. He is kind of tasked with closing these doors and preventing the worm from escaping. And he and like his family are the only people that can see the worm until we find Suzume. And Suzume can also see the worm. So she helps Sota close these doors. And these doors seem to open throughout Japan. And so Suzume goes on this epic journey with Sota to try to close these doors. Now, during this time, they also are pursuing the keystones. The keystones were originally like the statues that were holding the worm in place, but they seem to be changing for some reason. For some reason, they manifest as actual animals, and they don't seem to want to be keystones anymore. So while Suzume and Sota are going through closing these doors, they're also pursuing these keystones, trying to get them to turn back into keystones so that they can prevent the worm from continuing to come through. So it's a little bit of a strange story. You get pieces of it throughout, but man, are these worm scenes amazing. Like when they happen, you know, this giant cloud of energy comes through, and Sota and Suzume have to like work really hard to stop it. They have to kind of risk themselves, risk everything to stop it. And the music swells. They have to try to figure out how to close this door, how to prevent the worm from happening. It is something to be seen. Oh, and also, unfortunately for Sota, early on, he gets cursed and transformed into a chair. Now, it kind of makes sense towards the end of the film. I'm not going to tell you exactly why this makes sense, but for a large part of it, Sota is a talking chair. So, like I said, you have some very interesting characters throughout. You've got Suzume, you've got Sota as a chair, you've got the Keystones who play an interesting role. Specifically, this Keystone named Daijin, who is this kind of like fun, crazy cat. He like is trying to stay away, but also really likes Suzume, so he'll show up and like try to get Suzume to like pet him, and like he'll try to become Suzume's cat, and she's like, no, I want you to be a Keystone, and they have like some fun back and forth. He also is a crazy cat. Like he says some really ridiculous things, which I thought was really fun. I really like Daijin a lot. But you get all these weird characters on this epic journey throughout Japan to try to close these doors and also figure out how they can stop the worm. Now, do they stop the worm? Do they save Japan? Is this, how will this end? Well, you'll have to watch the movie to find out. I'm not going to tell you the ultimate ending, but hopefully with this basis of information, the movie will make a little bit more sense. So that is Suzume. It's coming to theaters on April 14th, 2023. Like I said, I think you should watch it. It's a beautiful film. It is an interesting film. It's something that I will watch many, many times. And after you watch it, let me know what you think. Let me know if you liked the film. If you didn't like the film, let me know what your thoughts. And let me know if I missed anything. So thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.